Am I the a-hole for not inviting any of my family to my wedding and replying that I knew they'd be too busy when questioned about why? I, 27 female, am the youngest in a family of 5. My siblings are 10 plus years older than me. We're all 4 siblings too. I was the accidental pregnancy that happened when my parents were done having kids. I have often questioned it because I was an accidental pregnancy. They never really wanted me and therefore we've ended up here. But of course, nobody ever said that to my face. That's just where my brain goes. There's a repeated pattern of everybody having plans or being busy when it's my birthday or something important happens in my life. With my siblings, I understand more. We were never close and they never pretended we were or that they cared. But it's different with my parents. Some examples I can mention. I had a joint 16th birthday party with my best friend. I was 16 that Friday. She was 16 that Sunday. And we had the party on Saturday. My best friend's parents paid for both of us, even invited my whole family. My siblings never even replied, which I took to mean no. My parents said that they had other plans, even though they never told me that before when I'd asked them about the party. They never said it when I originally invited them either. They said that my siblings would come to make up for it, but my siblings told our parents that they had important jobs they couldn't get away from on a Saturday night. For my 18th birthday, I invited them out to a family dinner. My siblings said that they were all working that weekend. My dad said that he was going to be in the hospital after a procedure that he never mentioned before and he didn't actually have in the end, and he wasn't in the hospital, though he did go somewhere that night. My mum said that she was visiting her sister and couldn't get away. None of them had other dates they could say they'd be free. And my 21st birthday was the same. Only my parents said they'd come and they didn't. They all had medical and dental stuff going on. My high school and my college graduation were 2 events where everybody had medical appointments and they couldn't reschedule to come. I was hoping that as we read further into this, that it was going to get better, but it's not getting better, it's getting worse. I started going to therapy a couple of years ago to help me navigate how I felt about everything. My original therapist was really good, but she had to leave due to illness, and I struggle with the current one that I've got. She's encouraged me to keep trying with my family and to always be open to them to return my efforts. She said that it's important to never give up on family. Yeah, hey, I'm not a therapist, but I wouldn't say that you should keep on trying with these people that don't put in any effort for you, ever. They can't even be bothered to come to any of your birthdays. I was reaching the end of my rope when my fiance and I got engaged, especially with how close I've become to my future mother-in-law. I was talking to him about how I didn't know if I should even invite them to our engagement party or our wedding, and how I didn't want to, but a part of me felt like I had to because of what the therapist said. He suggested that I make one more attempt by inviting them to the engagement party, and if none of them show up, I can say that I tried over the years and even gave them one more chance, but I have to move on for my own peace of mind and our future kids. He said that we can get married knowing that I'd given them more chances than most would, and nobody even showed up to our engagement party. There you go. Everybody had medical appointments from 8 p.m. until late on a Friday night. My whole family. Both parents, all 4 siblings, and their partners and kids. Oh, this is so sad. OP, your family are garbage. I did what my fiance suggested, and I decided that I was done. It felt so good. Still feels so good. But they found out that invites went out, and I was asked why they weren't invited or given info on the wedding. What did they expect? Oh, this one is so aggravating. Your piece of crap family doesn't show any interest in you, doesn't go to anything that you do, and they're wondering why they're not invited to your wedding? The audacity of them is so wild. I told them that I knew they'd be too busy, and I didn't want to inconvenience them by having to explain all the important stuff going on in their life that prevented them from coming to my wedding. There was some backlash from my text before I blocked them. It felt so good to be free. But then my therapist was saying that my wedding was a big thing to not invite them to, and did I really want to close the door forever and be the kind of person who doesn't value family? Oh my god, your therapist has no idea. Do you want to be the kind of person who doesn't value family? OP's not the kind of person who's not valuing their family. Their piece of crap family doesn't value family. OP has been repeatedly trying and trying and trying. What are they meant to do? Keep on trying forever? No. You think OP deserves that? Of course not. For a while I have considered if I need a different therapist. You 100% do. My fiance does believe so from what he's heard from me, but I don't know if that's just because he's so protective of me. If the therapist is right and if I am being an ass and she's trying to stop me from being one, am I the a-hole? Absolutely not. You're not in the wrong here, OP. Your pathetic family is. What a sad excuse of a family. The top comment says your therapist has accused you of not valuing family when for most of your life your family has never valued you. I cannot even imagine the pain that your parents and siblings have put you through over the years. They don't deserve you. So start valuing yourself the way that your fiance appears to and make a new family with him and fire the crappy therapist. Yeah, it's so obvious that OP's been putting the effort in, and repeatedly over and over and over again OP OP tries again and tries again. I can't get over how terrible OP's family is. Oh, we've all got medical appointments on like Friday nights and Saturday nights and stuff that never actually happened. Like, they're not even pretending anymore. OP knows that they're full of crap. They're not even trying. The second top comment says, not the a-hole, you definitely need a new therapist, one that lives in reality. I probably would have answered the why with, why would I invite any of you? You've never been around for any of my important events, and I didn't feel the need to do another round of inviting you, so once again, you can come up with fake excuses to not attend, and then block them. Enjoy your wedding and your life with the family that you're creating. I would not even consider these people your family. Create your own family with your partner that loves you. This comment says, you need a different therapist. Your family are a-holes. What chronic illnesses have them at the doctors for every single one of your major life moments? Yeah, the response to that, a-holism. They've repeatedly shown you that they're not there for you. You've already given them so many more chances than so many other people would give them. I think you've tried hard enough here, OP. And yeah, congratulations on the wedding. Sorry that your family sucks. Oh my god, what a start to the episode. It's going to be a fun episode and I'm so excited. I've got Jin back once again. And also, I've got a photo to show you guys. This beautiful photo here of Jin was at 10:30 last night. I said in one of the recent episodes how Jin is in the basket all the time. And I'm serious, he's in the basket all the time. So yeah, once again, we've got Jin in the basket. And also, once again, I tried to put Nez in the basket, but she got out of it immediately. So cute. Am I the gay hole for refusing to apologize for slapping my boyfriend when he smashed our birthday cake to my face? My female 34, boyfriend Charles male 38, and I celebrate our birthdays together. This year, I contributed a small private room at a restaurant, and we invited 11 people. 4 of them are my local friends, the rest are his family members. I did want to celebrate a new achievement in my career, and I thought it'd be great to just splurge a little and get some delicious food. So we had access to the menu, drinks, and our cake. I'd agreed to pay for half of the food aside from having rented the small space myself. The space was paid for in advance. We had issues last year because I felt that he was doing low effort things, while I always did my best to give him a nice birthday celebration. And so he decides it's a good idea to push your face into the cake? Come on. We have an income gap, but it wasn't even about money. I was making less money last year, and I still made things work for him. So this year, he took care of inviting people and paid for the cake, and got me a spice rack as a present, which I loved. I made myself all pretty, I got my eyebrows and eyelashes done, and I had my hair done. We were told to pose and pretend to blow out the candles, because I didn't want to blow out germs on the cake. Then we each had a picture alone with the cake. When it was my turn, I was holding the cake when he pushed my face towards the cake, so I tried to fight it. His family started cheering, and he arched over my body and forced me to bend over until my face smashed the cake. My friends tried to get him off me, and he resorted to plastering cake and frosting on my hair. I'm sorry, but he sucks. I don't need to describe the mess because I'll never be able to end this post, but I ended up slapping him when he attempted to do it again. His mother got up and she got into an argument with one of my guests. I had to cross the main floor with cake all over my face to use the restroom. When I looked in the mirror, I had cake on my neck and my blouse had red and blue coloring that didn't come off. I had to wash my face and get my hair into a bun so it didn't look so messy that way. When I came back, his family were all long faces. I told him what he did was unacceptable, and he said it was just a joke, that everybody's done that for ages, and that me slapping him ruined my image in front of his family. You're worried about your image in front of your family, bro? This is so annoying. I started crying and I gathered all of my stuff to leave. I notified him that he should pay for himself and his guests. My friends insisted on paying for their own food, but I refused, and we ended the night right there. My friends wanted to treat me to having dinner elsewhere, but I wasn't comfortable with my appearance. Yeah, understandable, you're covered in cake. What was he actually thinking? And the fact that he didn't stop when you obviously didn't want your face in the cake, and he didn't take a hint, and he forced your face into the cake. What a piece of crap. Oh, that's so bad. They ended up sending me the money that I spent, and that broke my heart. Charles had to pay for half of the remaining bill and got charged a cleaning fee. I still love him, but I'm clear that I'll never be able to forgive him. Yeah, understandable. We talked about it and I ended things. He's convinced that I never loved him. He acknowledged that what he did was wrong, but he's adamant that his family hates me for slapping him, and that it's my fault. I told him that he ruined not only our birthday, holiday, but also my way to celebrate my career milestone. I've worked very hard to get where I am, and that his behavior showed me what our future's gonna look like. And that I'm sorry to say it, but he was so aggressive and so focused on making his family laugh at my expense that I realized he's not good enough, and that I've lost my confidence to be seen with him in public, because I don't know what else he's gonna pull out of his ass. He says that he paid for the cake, that he's not saying that it was okay to smash it, but it's not like I paid for everything. He wanted me to apologize to his mum, but I refused. An important factor is that I'm not proud of my reaction. We've never had any physical altercations. He says that his mother feels humiliated because of what I did, and that she's been struggling with mild depression for years. I didn't know, and that I came off as violent. Am I the a-hole for refusing? I already blocked him. Edit, his guest paid for the other half of his bill after being told they needed not to pay for anything. This is unbelievable. Number one, the fact that all he bloody cares about is how he looks in front of his own family. Number two, having the bloody audacity to say that OP humiliated him. And yeah, you got slapped in the face, dude. I wonder why. Like, are you actually joking? You physically forced your partner's face into a cake, and by the sounds of it, it wasn't easy to do either. He started to push OP's head into the cake. OP was trying to resist, obviously showing that OP did not want their face in the cake, because why would they? He, from what it said there, gets up. Yeah, he arched over my body and forced me to bend over until my face smashed into the cake. And then has the audacity to say that OP humiliated him, and also the audacity of his family for what they said. But you're surprised that OP slapped you, bro? No, violence is not the answer. But if you're a boyfriend and you force your girlfriend's face into a cake, damn right your girlfriend's gonna slap you, and fair enough. Oh my god, this is infuriating. Yeah, like this comment says, the only apology I'd give the witch who whelped him is, I'm sorry that you raised a man capable of assaulting the woman that he supposedly loves in order to get a few cheap laughs. What he did was assault. What you did was more self-defense. He was trying to repeat the assault, not the a-hole. Yeah, and then he says that OP humiliated him, and it is such a red flag that all he cares about is how he looks in front of his family. Terrible boyfriend. Yeah, the second top comment. Wait, she thinks that you came off as violent after watching him struggle to force your face into the cake? You did right. He sounds abusive and lazy. Throw him and the whole idiot family away. And the response to that says, I'm still trying to figure out what depression has to do with all of this. And the top comment says, not the a-hole. The reason being is that you physically resisted having your face forced into a cake. He did it anyway and attempted to do it a second time. I don't blame you for the slap in this situation. Yeah, he tried to force you again when you clearly didn't want to. If someone were trying to force my face into a cake and I was holding, I would have dropped it right on the floor and walked out. I'd be done with that relationship. It wasn't a joke either. No means no. He and his whole family sound like a whole entourage of a-holes. Yeah, not the a-hole OP, and good on you for breaking up with him. And the family sounds awful. And also 38 years old and acting like this. Yeah, there are so many comments saying it, like it's not okay to use violence. But he physically overpowered you, forcefully pushing his girlfriend's face into a cake when you were physically trying to resist. Yeah, you slapped him, and fair enough. Yeah, like this comment says, my family hates that you defended yourself when I physically assaulted you in front of them. OP, I'm so glad that you got out safely. And the comment below that says, please read this again. You acted in self-defense. What he did was assault and battery. Like, yeah, once again, violence is not the answer. But if you're a boyfriend and you forcefully are pushing your girlfriend's face into something, like, yeah, I would expect to be slapped. Yeah, that's so awful. The next one that we're going to read is an a-hole post. I'm excited, but I'm also nervous. Am I the a-hole for expecting my wife to keep the same responsibilities after a career change? I made a throwaway so I-35 male could post this. My wife, female 40, recently changed careers and has started a new job. I've been supportive through her entire career change, and I tried to help her in any way possible along the way. However, things have changed since she started the job. She's much more exhausted when she comes home from work compared to before, and instead of dealing with this and managing change, she expects me to cater to her schedule when I have my own work schedule to still manage. Her old work schedule was 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. Because she started work around the same time our kids 10 male and 7 male had to go to school, she would wake them up and get them ready in the morning and make sure they got to school. I didn't do this because I woke up around 9 and 10 a.m. every day, and she was waking up around the same time they needed to, so it made more sense. I work 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Her new job is working 10 p.m. to 6 a.m., the same amount of work hours per day as me. Our kids need to wake up at 6:30 a.m. to make it to school on time. I figured that she would start getting them ready after coming back from work and then go to sleep after, since she had that responsibility before. Plus, it would only be an extra hour of staying awake maximum. When we discussed how our new schedules would be with her new work hours, she was expecting me to start waking up early to get the kids ready instead of her. I'm not a morning person and she functions better earlier than I do. I said this expectation is unfair to me because I still have my own work schedule to manage, and it shouldn't be on me to change that for a career move that she decided to make under no pressure from me. She thinks I'm being inconsiderate and expecting too much from her. It's been tense between us ever since that we argued about it, and it feels like an elephant in the room. Am I the a-hole? Yeah, very much a you the a-hole consensus. The top comment says your wife is handling both the mornings and the afternoon and dinner shuffle while working overnight while you sleep until 9 to 10 in the morning and deal with none of it. What exactly do you do for your kids? You the a-hole without a doubt. And the comment below that says you the a-hole. It's almost like you have to be a parent. Way to let your wife do all the heavy lifting, and saying that she functions better in the mornings is a total cop-out. Your wife did what had to be done because you were sleeping. Somebody in the comments was asking when OP spends time with the kids, and OP said, when I come home from work, I always play with the kids for a while to make sure I'm spending quality time with them. 738 downvotes. And the comment below that says, I would usually watch some TV with my kids or play Uno with them to make sure that we had quality time. And also another one of OP's comments says, yeah, she picked the kids up and also got dinner ready before since I work late. And another comment says, yeah, she took them to school without arrangement before. When it comes to cleaning, she usually did most of it, but the only reason is because she has higher standards than me. I keep things tidy in my opinion, but she's more of a clean freak than me, so she does more for that reason. Oh yeah, definitely a you the a-hole consensus. The next one, am I the a-hole for refusing to babysit my husband's kids so that he can have some time off? My 29 female husband, 34 male, has 3 kids from a prior marriage, 11 male, 7 male, 6 male. They're absolute terrors as both of their parents have struggled to agree with parenting and roles. When I met my husband 4 years ago, he stated that he's not looking for a mum for his kids. His kids have 2 parents and he's looking for a wife for himself. I like kids, but I've never wanted any of my own. I was open to the idea of him having kids. Back when we dated, he had the kids on weekends. Things were fine with them. He never expected anything from me regarding the kids. I told him that I'm not interested in babysitting, and he said that he'd never ask me to. He'll just hire his niece to babysit if he needs a babysitter. Long story short, in the last year, they've moved from weekends to 50-50. Since the kids are old enough to not need their mum as much, this was always the plan. One parent has the kids for a whole week, and the other has the kids the next week. My husband lost his job and got a new job that pays less. Niece also went off to college. Husband can't afford any of the local babysitters because they charge quite frankly a lot. The kids are terrors, so babysitting does not come cheap. Husband is also now making less money. This weekend was his friend's bachelor party. Husband is a groomsman and was expected to attend. Last minute, he asked me to watch the kids for the entire weekend so that he can attend the event. He thought it would be no big deal, and I definitely agree. I was kinda miffed that he waited till last minute to ask me. I told him I can't because I have to go to the gym and I've got brunch plans with my mother. And to be honest, I don't want to. Sounds like a good way to ruin an otherwise good weekend. Also, why would I watch the kids so their dad can go get plastered and ogle strippers with his friends? No, thank you. It's not like it was an emergency or something. He was very upset because he couldn't go. I brought up the fact that before we got married, he told me that he wouldn't expect me to watch the kids ever. He seemed surprised because he thought that I would have changed my mind. I told him that I'd watch them if it were an emergency, but otherwise no. I didn't have kids because I didn't want the responsibility of them. I like his kids. I cook for them sometimes. I take them out to do stuff occasionally. I show up to their sports games, but this is for me and the kids. I would say that they all really like me because I don't try to meddle and pretend to be their mum. I'm their dad's wife and they like it. I love Dan, but I think he needs to not try to shrink his responsibility as a father. He signed up for this. Having kids means you don't always get to do the stuff you want to do, but am I the a-hole? Edit, their mum won't switch weekends with my husband. She makes plans for the weekends when my husband has the kids. She's not going to cancel her plans last minute because he doesn't have a babysitter and because he wants to go out with his friends. Yeah, all the top comments are not the a-hole. The top comment says not the a-hole. He waited until the last minute so there wouldn't be time to discuss other options because that would be more expensive or inconvenient for him. And the response to that one says, not to mention if he's a groomsman, they could have planned the bachelor weekend when he didn't have the kids. The comment below says it's only going to get worse. He won't want to handle the permanent 50-50 parenting load, and he'll start to say that if you love him, you'll help him with the kids. I don't think this marriage is going to last. The comment below that says, I think you went into this relationship with blinders on. Yeah, there are a few everybody sucks here comments that are like, what did you expect? But I would say that it's still a not the a-hole consensus. The comment above that says, most co-parents that I know in my circle of friends would have just asked the other parent to switch weeks or let them skip a week or whatever the case may be. You're not the a-hole. The next one says, am I the a-hole for leaving my girlfriend at a wedding after she told the bride that I used to have a crush on her? I, 27 male, was invited to a friend's wedding last weekend. Not somebody that I talk to every day, but we were close back in college and we stayed in touch. The bride and I had a flirty friendship back in the day. Nothing ever happened, but I did used to have a bit of a crush on her. Early in my relationship with my girlfriend, 26 female, I mentioned it in passing. Just one of those haha yeah, college was messy conversations. The wedding itself was great. My girlfriend and I got dressed up and had a couple of drinks and danced a little. At some point I noticed her and the bride talking by the bar. They were smiling and laughing and nothing seemed off, up until the bride started acting really weird around me, like distant and uncomfortable. Later, one of the bridesmaids, who I also know, pulls me aside and goes, hey, just so you know, your girlfriend told the bride that you used to be in love with her and that she should watch herself tonight. I honestly didn't know what to say. I confronted my girlfriend about it and she didn't deny it. She said I didn't want to cause drama, but I thought she deserved to know the history. I told her there was no history, and even if there had been, saying something like that at somebody else's wedding was completely out of line. And she got super defensive, said that I was blowing it out of proportion and caring more about the bride's feelings than hers. I told her that I was embarrassed and hurt and honestly kind of shocked by how casually she tried to stir the pot at somebody else's wedding, and she ended up dismissing everything that I said, told me to get over it and stop making a scene. So I said f it and I left. I got in the car and I drove home without her. I figured she'd find a way back with one of her friends. She knew several people there. She eventually did, but now saying that I abandoned her, and a couple of her friends are messaging me saying that I humiliated her and I'm an awful person for leaving without her. I don't feel like I was wrong to walk away, but I was super upset, and I'm starting to think that the way I handled it was a bit over the top. Am I the a-hole? The top comment says, not the a-hole, completely inappropriate. You had a crush, you weren't in love. Your girlfriend completely blew it out of proportion and made the situation uncomfortable for both you, the bride, and her husband. Your girlfriend's an a-hole. The second top comment says, you need to wake up. Red flags all over. This was your girlfriend, deliberately ruining the bride's wedding day, jealousy rearing its ugly head, by telling a bride an exaggerated lie about your feelings back in college. What exactly was she trying to warn her about? Like you were going to make a declaration of love when making a speech? Or pin her in a corner saying that you should have married me? What the actual girlfriend has issues. You will always have to wonder, what is she saying to people to keep you to herself? Thank goodness the friend told you, because you would have never known why the bride, who was your friend, pulled back. How many other friendships has she destroyed behind your back? Any other friends that you thought were okay with suddenly ghosting you? Look around, girlfriend is a liar, blaming you for getting upset that she lied and got caught. The comment below that says, not the a-hole. I'll bet $5 grand that any of the other friends who criticized you would have lost their minds had this happened at their own wedding. Yeah, for sure. The comment below that says, not the a-hole, you shared something vulnerable in trust and she weaponized it to create unnecessary drama at somebody else's wedding. That's incredibly disrespectful to everybody involved. Walking away to avoid a scene was mature. You didn't abandon her. You set a boundary after being humiliated. Her reaction says a lot. Yeah, definitely a not the a-hole consensus. There are some comments saying that OP should have left with her, not without her. But yeah, very much a not the a-hole consensus. But yeah, 100% creating unnecessary drama for no reason. And yeah, like that other comment said, you weren't in love with her. Yeah, like the comments are saying, she weaponized this thing that you said that wasn't a big deal, blew it out of proportion to create drama for no reason. Like, why say that to the bride? The next one is an update post. We read the original post of this the other day. I'll play the original post again before we read the update. The next one says, am I the a-hole for demanding to go through my brother-in-law and his girlfriend's bags if they're staying with us? Background, I've got a pretty severe dairy allergy. I break out in hives, I struggle to breathe, and I carry 2 EpiPens with me everywhere. If I get any dairy in my system, I'll end up in the ER. My in-laws know this and have been extremely accommodating since my fiance and I started dating 5 years ago. When we moved in together 2 years ago, we set strict rules for our home because of my allergy. The big one is that no one's allowed to bring anything that contains dairy into our house ever, no matter what. On to the current story. My brother-in-law started dating his girlfriend a year and a half ago. They came to visit us together for the first time a year ago. My fiance made sure that my brother-in-law explained my allergy to his girlfriend and our no dairy rule. 2 days into their stay, she bought dairy products and cooked lunch for herself when we weren't home. I ended up in the ER because of cross-contamination. She apologized and explained that she hadn't understood how serious my allergy was. We were able to put the situation behind us since both my fiance and I currently have and do want to keep a good relationship with my brother-in-law. The two of them came for a second visit 9 months ago. We had a video call with brother-in-law and his girlfriend before the trip to make sure that she understood the severity of my allergy allergy and how serious we are about the no dairy rule. During their second trip, I was taking out the trash and I found a candy bar wrapper and an empty milkshake container in the guest room trash, the room that she was staying in. Even after she saw how serious my allergy is and how I ended up in the ER, she still brought dairy into our house. I confronted her when they got back. She and brother-in-law had a huge fight. Brother-in-law went through all of her stuff and chucked out everything that she had with dairy. We kicked out his girlfriend. Brother-in-law stayed for the rest of the planned trip. Brother-in-law and his girlfriend worked out the relationship after the trip and they're still together. Since their second trip, brother-in-law has come alone since I don't trust his girlfriend in our house. Well, brother-in-law is planning a new trip to visit us and his girlfriend wants to come too. At first, we just said no, we don't trust her. But since we know that it is important to brother-in-law, we came up with what we believe is a good compromise. She can come and stay at our place, but we're going to have to go through her bags every time she comes back to our place. And if she doesn't accept that, she can stay at a hotel or stay home. Now I'm being called an a-hole for treating her like a criminal and that checking her bag is an invasion of privacy. So am I the a-hole for demanding to go through her bag if she's staying at my house? Well, like, what does she really expect? The top comment says not the a-hole. She had 2 strikes and she still couldn't comprehend that what she was doing was wrong. If she continues to push back, tell her, okay, find somewhere else to stay. I've been down this path with you twice before and I've ended up in the ER. You've intentionally endangered me twice. I'm not going to risk a third occurrence. And the comment below that says she broke your trust twice and she's calling you an a-hole? She's the a-hole. Yeah, like the comment below that says not the a-hole, but I just tell her to stay elsewhere. The medical bills aren't worth this mess and she's proven twice that she doesn't listen. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. It's definitely not even worth it. Like, twice this has already happened. It'll probably happen again. And also, they definitely don't need to stay at your house. I'm sure they could stay nearby and you could meet up with them. There's no reason they have to stay in your house, especially with your allergy, OP. And the fact that the girlfriend's already brought dairy into your house twice. Don't even bother doing that again. Yeah, like this comment says, not the a-hole, but I think it's wild that you'd ever let her in your house again and that you're willing to act like the TSA. She almost killed you. She and brother-in-law can stay nearby and you can meet in neutral places. Yeah, 100%. Why make it so much harder than it needs to be? Update. I didn't plan on writing an update, especially not so soon, but a lot has happened in just one day. But first, I want to clear up some misconceptions around their second visit to our home. I did not get sick from brother-in-law's girlfriend having candy bars and a milkshake cup in the trash. Awesome candy bars in her bag. That wasn't the problem. The issue was that while knowing our no dairy house rule, had not only seen but also been responsible for me going into anaphylactic shock, and also got an in-depth explanation of my allergy and why it's important for us to keep our home dairy-free, she still brought my own allergen into my house, my safe space. That's why we fought with her and kicked her out of our house. Okay, on to the update. After the first 500 comments or so telling me that I'm an idiot for even considering letting this woman, who's a danger to my health, back into my house, I realized I was listening way too much to the part of me who just wanted to keep the peace and was downplaying the seriousness of the past incidents in my mind. I kept thinking that the first time she might not have known how serious my allergy was and it was an accident, and since I didn't get sick the second time she brought dairy into my home, I was exaggerating how bad it was. I know it sounds insane, but after dealing with people who don't take allergy seriously for years, I've gotten used to apologizing and even downplaying my allergy to others. I sat down with my fiance and discussed the whole situation. He explained how he also doesn't want brother-in-law's girlfriend back in our home, but since I was willing to give her another chance and it was my health affected by her previous actions, he felt that I should make the final decision. He ended up texting brother-in-law to tell him our original no answer stance, that he's welcome to stay with us, but she's not allowed in our house, especially since she hasn't even apologized for breaking our rule again. After she sent me to the ER the first time they visited, and I'm his family, and that my health and well-being are more important to him than brother-in-law visiting. I wasn't here for this part, but this is what my fiance told me happened. After he sent that message, brother-in-law called him and they talked. It turns out that brother-in-law's girlfriend had told him that she reached out after their second trip, that we talked and I forgave her, but wasn't ready to have her back in my house yet. She has asked him to come with every time he's visited us. Brother-in-law always told her no, and that she would only be allowed to come with when I told him that I was ready to have her back in my house. He only asked if she could come since it had been 9 months, and as far as he knew, I'd forgiven her. According to my fiance, brother-in-law was extremely apologetic. I haven't had time to talk to him directly yet, but we have planned a video chat to get everything worked out tomorrow. The reason that my brother-in-law didn't ask me directly about the situation and believed his girlfriend is because he's aware of how traumatic an allergic reaction is to me, and that I hate to talk about it after, since I can't stand to relive the situation. If anybody's interested, I can post a second update after I talk to my brother-in-law tomorrow, and hopefully really have a final conclusion to this whole thing. Right, okay, interesting. This comment says, honestly, I was side-eyeing brother-in-law for still being with her, much less even asking if she could stay again. So this explains a lot. He thought that she'd reached out and apologized. So now he can add her being a liar to the list of reasons of why he'd be an a-hole for continuing to be in a relationship with her. Yeah, and the comment below that, so wait, did she actually talk to you and you forgave her? Or did she lie about it? And OP said she lied. I hadn't talked to her since throwing her out, before she texted me calling me an a-hole for the search if she was to stay in my house, which she absolutely won't be doing now. Oh, that's so wild. Definitely don't let her back in your house, OP. And now everybody also knows that she lied. Okay, time to read something wholesome. This is the best sign to ever exist. Please boop the dogs. That is so beautiful. And they're so cute. Look at their faces. Please love the dogs. Please boop the dogs. That's so cute. Thank you for watching today's episode, everybody. I hope you had a great time. The comment of the day goes to Mage. In my mind, Jin has Vincey bring his food to the cat bed, like kitty DoorDash. Oh my god, that's so cute. Sometimes I bring him a little handful of kibble, and he sits in the basket eating it. Kitty DoorDash, that's so adorable. Like I've been saying though, he doesn't get off the basket anymore, so I probably will have to deliver his food to him. So cute. Thank you for the support, everybody. I've been having so much fun with the episodes. It's so funny. I started showing my face in the YouTube shorts, and there were so many people that were convinced that I was an AI. It has been so interesting to see. So many people on my YouTube shorts, because I never showed my face, just assumed that I was an AI voice, and all the comments are like, oh my god, this guy's a real human. It's been so funny. So yeah, hello new subscribers that have only just realized that I'm an actual person. I appreciate your support. I'll see you in the next episode, everybody. Make sure you look after yourself and make sure you have a beautiful, amazing rest of your day. And you know what I'm about to say because I say it every other day. Bye!